Well, hi, I'm Peter von Aartrijk, along with my colleague Rick Morgan, and we're here. We just finished up our 5th brand camp, Rick, here in St. Louis, Aartrijk brand camp, and we wanted to just think back. It's pretty new right now in my brain, but I think we've got a couple of themes that were really pretty cool that came out of this. Some deep dives on a couple of topics.
Oh yeah, absolutely we did. I think to start it out though, when and thinking back, and like you said, it's all still very new, and we're kind of just still in shock. But I think the whole concept of the customer journey and the customer experience was a theme that was overriding a lot of our discussions, because I think it tied a lot of what we talked about and made it relevant to an agent. If what we're doing with technology or thinking about different processes or what's going on in our culture, if we can't relate that back to how the customer experience is working with us, why?
Right.
You know?
yeah. And our industry has been just talking to itself for so long. And
yes, exactly.
And they should, because there's a lot of things inside that we need to fix.
Yeah.
But now that we've got this outside pressure from all kinds of outside people, whether it's Amazon, Google, you name it, Walmart, people are looking at us and saying we got to get into this industry, particularly in personal lines. And because of the advent of new technology that's more agile, you can implement it quicker, and those sorts of things. I think there's this groundswell of have we really talked to the customer, the prospect, whether it's personal lines or commercial lines? What do they think of us, and how do we look to them?
Right.
And the more we learn about them, the more we can represent our brands better.
Yeah, and I think when we talk about the customer journey, and because it's a brand camp and because we focus a lot on technology, what was interesting is a lot of the discussion had nothing to do with really technology. It was building that relationship and working really hard to make sure that our customers really experienced that there was a relationship built, and that they experienced whatever interaction they had with our industry, and it was favorable.
Yeah.
That it made them feel good.
Yeah.
And met their expectations. And so when we talk about, I think, the customer experience and the customer journey, we did pay a lot of attention to that. Although, when you think about how they evaluate us, how they find us, how they make decisions about whether or not to do business with us, a lot of that does tie back into the technology. Then they're online, researching.
Yeah, there was quite a bit of examples given here by agents, mainly, about how they treat their customers and the things they do in their community and how it all ties back. So there's been a lot of good work done by agents over the years, but it seems to me to be more attention on the customer experience.
Absolutely.
And I think that's really a positive thing, that we're looking outside, not just inside. There was another, if I may, theme. We spent quite a bit of time on video, Rick.
Well, and that ties right back to that, because I think you were right. I mean, I think we were paying attention to that customer and what they're experiencing as they interact with us. And we did spend a lot of time on video, because I think we believe that video is a great way to amplify our personality, to show who we are in a very real way. And it's much better than just reading about who we are.
Yeah.
And so having that, again, that using video in a lot of our social outlets, getting our customers to actually, as an agent, getting getting video testimonials, for example, so that there's something real going on there, rather than just, our customers like us.
Yeah. And the guys from trustedchoice.com came into brand camp. They did a wonderful review of video, the who, what, when, where, why, and how of video. How do you make video? And
right.
I was struck by how easy it is and inexpensive it is for any agent to have basically a studio in their office and shoot video. Because the thing is, in the old days, people read words, then they looked at pictures, and now they're looking at video.
Yeah.
The video is powerful and a way to bring out the personalities that we know exist in all these agencies. So I guess we would encourage agents to take advantage of video, like you said, on your social sites, but on their own websites.
Yes. Well, and it's still scary. And I think a lot of people don't like to be on camera, and they're just freaking about it. And even though it is now inexpensive, relatively inexpensive, and fairly easy to put a studio together, you say, if the agent doesn't feel comfortable doing that, it's not a $20,000 effort anymore to create a video.
No, it's 500 or 1,000 at the most. Yeah.
And so you can get people to help you do that and work with you. I think and we learned that. We saw that.
Yeah.
We heard agents talk about it and how important it has been when they've done that kind of when they've done video and used it on their website or on their social sites or whatever. So, yeah, I think that was a key message that came out of Brand Camp for sure.
You know, it doesn't always have to be the agency principal either. It could be maybe there's the bright young CSR who just bubbles with enthusiasm and cares a lot about protecting their customers, and they're just talking all kinds of issues. It could be a variety of people in the agency that are doing video. And if you don't even want to be on camera, there's technology like what's the software?
Well, it's kind of like a whiteboard. Animoto. You can use Animoto or a whiteboard video. So there's a lot of things that can be done. And I think what we learned is that there's different kinds of video to be able to be used in different places. So sometimes video from a cell phone is fine.
Yeah.
If you're going to just use it on Facebook, maybe you take that cell phone out to a community event and you shoot a couple scenes or something and you post, hey, we're out here at this great event, and you show that. Then you might have a little more, quote, professional type video that you put on your website, for example.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of options.
Right.
And visual.
And the other thing, of course, it's called Brand Camp, so we do talk quite a bit about brand, the corporate brand, the personal brand. But one thing we went over in a fair amount of detail was the need to have a written brand strategy. Because despite all this stuff with the digital age and how consumers are finding agents, there's no more sales funnel. They're outside the funnel. They're learning about the agency before the agency even knows they're a prospect, that sort of thing. It's really important that agencies have a written brand strategy, because we talked about the difference between being an innovator brand and a status quo brand.
Yeah.
And fortunately for the brands, the carriers, and the agents in our business that are innovating, it's a minority of them actually that are doing this.
Right.
You can see them rising above. You can see that they're doing some things. There's excitement among the staff.
Yeah.
They have visionary leadership. They don't just look at Facebook as a project. It's part of their social business. And so if you have a written brand strategy with the different components we went through there, you're going to be in the innovator brand path, at least.
Well, absolutely, and I think that helps them stand out and be unique. And so,
like we talked about vision, which is the better world you envision if you're successful in your mission. And your mission is what you do, of course, but you have to appeal to both the rational and emotional side of the customer when it comes to mission. And talking about your customer values and your personality and your agency, but you write these things down and have people agreeing on them. They're like, oh, okay, we finally have a written path.
And in the digital society, I mean, branding in the digital environment is added a new layer of complexity in a way, because it's so important now to be consistent across all these different outlets. So it's your social plus your traditional, and before you just had the traditional that you had to worry about your print ad or something, and now you have to be careful across all of that, and your message has to be consistent. In other words, if you're going to have a brand that people resonate with and relate to and not get confused, it's got to be clear and consistent. So when we think back and we had just such an amazing group of people and great discussions on all of this, and it wasn't just theory. It was agents that were out there doing these things and struggling with some of it clearly and having issues, and watching that interaction and the discussion that took place was just amazing.
Yeah, I just love doing this event. I know it's a lot of work for everybody, but it's just a terrific event. And thank you to Trusted Choice. Thank you to Simply Easier Payments. And there's some other people, the Big Eyes very supportive. Accord's are very supportive and coming together and making this event happen. So it was fantastic. And we'll have some more conversations about what came out of Brand Camp. Right?
You bet.
Okay.